All right, boys and girls, what is happening? And lo and behold, we finally have the TVS Apache RTR 200. Now, I cannot even wrap my head around how many different people requested for me to get my hands on this bike and do a review of it. It has been a challenge, but in the most unexpected of situations, I seem to have landed up riding a glossy black Apache RTR 200, and I have to say I love this little touch over here. It's almost that Italian color scheme. I don't know why they have put it on an Indian motorcycle, but it looks good nonetheless. And let's just have a quick look around over here. Everything is pretty standard. This bike, believe it or not, actually comes in 7 different colors. So if you're someone who loves to be spoiled by choice, you have plenty of options to choose from. And I like this sweet little touch over here with the gold-plated forks as well. Of course, this is the BS4 engine, so it's compliant with all of the latest government rules. I think the bike overall has a really nice, unique look to it, and the exhaust pipe over here as well is very different. The split seat design is again something that is fairly modern and contemporary. It's pretty much becoming a standard across most of the bikes in this 200cc segment. So alright, that is a quick walk around. Now let's get onto the bike and take it out for a spin and see what it feels like. But before we do that, let's just go ahead and hear the exhaust note. That's good enough for me. Let's go. Alright guys, so finally we have our hands on the Apache RTR 200. This has taken a long time, and it happened in the most unexpected of circumstances, but nonetheless we've got this black beauty right here, and it's time to find out what it's made of. I have to say right off the bat that the bike does have a little bit of a brute inside of it. Just as you turn up the throttle, you can feel the bike just waiting to take off, which is why I guess a lot of people love the Apache RTR, apart from the fact that it's been one of those brands, just like the Pulsar, that has been around in the Indian market for a very long time. Of course, the Pulsar enjoys a much wider range of success, whereas this one also, I think, is right up there, but more with the hardcore enthusiasts. It still has a pretty strong fan following of its own. You will not believe the amount of people that asked me to review this bike on my channel. As I'm going through the traffic over here in the market, I'm kind of just waiting for the roads to open up a little bit so that we can push the bike around and see what it has to offer. But from whatever I'm seeing so far, looks wise, I have to say I prefer this way more than the Pulsar NS 160. Now both of those bikes are in the same segment with similar pricing, but I think this one definitely looks much better. Now as far as the presence of this bike is concerned, even though this technically weighs the same as the NS200 and the FZ25, I have to say that this actually feels a little heavier and has a bigger presence on the road. Now it might have something to do with the design of the bike and the ergonomics, but like I said before, I actually like the RTR 200 as far as look and visual appeal is concerned over the NS200. As far as the FZ25 is concerned, I think it's a toss-up. Both of those bikes look pretty good, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the FZ25, even though you have to keep in mind it's a good 30,000 rupees more expensive and also has an additional 50cc. As far as this bike itself is concerned, it comes with a single-cylinder 197cc engine that produces about 20.7 bhp of power and 18 newton meters of torque. It has a top speed of about 127 kilometers, and the seat height is pretty comfortable. I think even if you're on the shorter side, you should be able to make do, because it's about 800 millimeters, which is definitely much lower than the new KTM Duke 250 and 390. As you can see, it has a nice little grunt to it as well. Let's see how it does up on an incline. Pretty impressed, I have to say. it is surpassing expectations. I love the digital console that they have. It feels very modern, it feels very contemporary and well done. In case if you haven't been able to tell, I'm a huge fan of design, and I just love the way this whole setup looks over here. Maneuvers quite well from what I can tell. I am digging it. Let's check out the suspension over here, which again might not be mind-blowing, but it gets the job done. I still have to say that the suspension of, I think, the Honda Hornet amongst bikes of a similar segment and capacity left me absolutely blown away, and even the Gixxer was surprisingly good, whereas this isn't bad, but again, nothing particularly to write home about. So some people have concerns about the refinement of the bike, and again, for the short time that I've been riding it, if I can make a comment on that, all I can say is that it's not the most refined bike, obviously. I think the NS200 in comparison sounds a lot more refined, feels a lot more refined. This seems like it's a little bit of a wild child in a fun way, but I don't know if that kind of fun lasts forever or there is a drop-off point associated with that. Like I mentioned before, the color that I'm riding over here is the glossy black. You have 7 different color options, actually, believe it or not, which I don't think any bike manufacturer offers apart from TVS. So you've got the glossy black, you've got the matte black, you've got the matte white, you've got the glossy white, and then you've got the matte red, matte yellow, and matte gray. So if you're someone who loves to have a plethora of options to choose from, then this is definitely right up your alley. The braking, I think, could have been a little better, and as far as the gear shifting is concerned, again, not as clunky as the Honda Hornet or the Suzuki Gixxer, but it isn't as smooth as, let's say, the Pulsar NS160 or even the Yamaha FZ25, which were actually butter smooth. The braking on this bike could have been slightly better, and as far as the gear shifting is concerned, it's pretty okay. It's not as clunky as the Hornet or the Gixxer, but it's not as butter smooth as the NS200 either. But I love the pickup, I love the grunt that it has, and it does seem like a little bit of a wild child, but you can't really do much with it if you're caught in traffic like this. The fuel tank is a standard 12-liter capacity, and everything else is pretty much comparable to other bikes in its segment. This one is among the lighter ones. If you look at the RS200 especially, it is on the heavier side because of the fairing, the Doom, the ABS, and what have you, whereas this one weighs in at about 148 kilos, which I think is very reasonable. And apart from that, I think it is one of those bikes that if you like TVS, if you like the Apache brand, then you're going to like it, you're going to be a fan of it. And if you're one of those people who loves maybe a Yamaha or a Duke 200, then there is no comparison, because there is a good difference of at least 55,000 rupees or more between the Apache and the Duke. So guys, all in all, I'm going to say that the Apache RTR 200 is a bike that you will love if you're already in love with it. There are certain people who are fans of the Apache brand, there are certain people who are fans of the Hornet, there are certain people who are fans of Yamaha, Gixxer, so on and so forth. So if you're not a fan of the Apache, I don't think this bike or riding it is necessarily going to convert you. But if you're already on board and you think this is a great value for money offering, which I think it kind of is, because this is the cheapest bike in that 200cc segment, all in all, I think it is meant for the aficionados. It is meant for people who already love the TVS brand, and I hope this finally quelled some of those requests that were coming in on my channel for the Apache RTR 200. I hope you had fun watching this video. If you liked it, then make sure that you hit the like button, and if this is your first time around at the Savant Life, then make sure to hit that subscribe button, as people keep coming in the wrong way. Just another day in Bangalore traffic. I will see you in the next one. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Take care, ride safe, and as always, have fun. So there you guys are. Now I know this might look very suspect, like I'm trying to copy somebody else. What with the glasses, the running, and then the camera mounted right on the wall. But this is actually a metaphor. How? Let me explain. Now, what is the metaphor? Well, we at the Savant Life recently crossed 10,000 subscribers, and I say we because I could not have done this without you. And in this mad race for getting more subscribers and more views, we oftentimes forget to take a breather and just appreciate how far we've come. And that is exactly what I wanted to do, which is the reason why I put this message in right here at the end of the video, because I know that only those people who enjoy my content and my true loyal subscribers would watch till this very point. So a huge thank you to each and every one of you. Please continue supporting me just like this in the future as well. And here is to the next 10,000 and many more to come. I will see you in the next one, but until then, and as always, take care, have fun, and ride safe. Or in this case, run safe. I'll see you around.